is the moment we waited for. Everything you want is right here. We gon' give them what they came for. We gon' take it up from last year. Shoot 'em my shot, boy, I'm long range. Me and the team on the same thing. Stayed down, never switched up. Only thing changed was the game. I'm in the zone now. Nothing can change what we on now. When I pull up, know it's going down. Foot on the gas, ain't no slowing down. Aiming for greatness, no settling. Kick down the doors, they won't let me in. Taking no L's, yeah, I gotta win. Watch me kick down the doors, they won't let me in. Who running the game now? Foot on the gas, can slow down. No, my team, we holding it down. We know we running it now. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change, yeah. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. I do not gamble, but bet on me. Tell them that's life, yeah, it's still love it. I'm taking a shot for my enemies. I can't waste no more time on my energy. I know they know I got it on lock. Go against me, that's a long shot. Cause I'm counting wins all around the clock. Never doubt me, boy, I don't stop. Who do you feel when they make you the monster? I am not scared of none of you imposters. Taking the lead now while they watching. Think you should leave now while the option. Taking no L's, yeah, I gotta win. Watch me kick down the doors, they won't let me in. Who running the game now? Foot on the gas, can slow down, no.
Welcome to another edition of the It's Cavalier podcast. It's your boy Mac, and ladies and gentlemen, it's finally time. Preseason basketball is finally upon us, and for the Cleveland Cavaliers, that means a date with none other than the Chicago Bulls on Tuesday night. That actually kicks off a 4-game preseason slate that will see them face Chicago, the Indiana Pacers, the Detroit Pistons and JB Bickerstaff, and close against those very same Chicago Bulls. And let me tell you, I am as excited as can be. I'm excited as hell. I don't care what anybody says. There are legitimate reasons to be happy or excited about this team's future, about this season in general. I don't care what people have to say in regards to the offseason that we had. Yes, I know it wasn't flashy by any means. Yes, I know it was mainly just about retaining talent when you're talking about re-signing Donovan Mitchell. That's a big thing that you got out the way because a lot of people, all the national media pundits, even many of the local media outlets felt that Donovan Mitchell was long gone. Like he was just probably going to play out the 2025-26 season and be gone or be traded midway through, or perhaps this offseason. That did not happen. Donovan Mitchell has made it very clear time and time again that Cleveland is where he wants to be. So that was step numero uno. You had Evan Mobley's rookie scale extension. That was never not going to happen. I mean, you have to be a fucking idiot to not think that was just not going to happen. Jarrett Allen's extension was kind of out of the blue, but adding additional years to his contract just kind of ups the trade value if you eventually want to pivot off of his deal. But consider he's on one of the most, I don't want to say team-friendly contracts out there for what he provides you. Keeping him around is probably something that Cavaliers want to do, and I cannot argue against it. I remained a huge Jarrett Allen fan. Brian Windhorst actually called Jarrett Allen Cleveland's second best player recently, and I don't think you can really dispute that, at least last season. You can make an argument that Darius, Garland, and Evan Mobley are better players than Jarrett Allen, but last season, Jarrett Allen was easily Cleveland's second best player, right behind Donovan Mitchell, and it wasn't even close for the production that he gave you and the consistency and just kind of helping share the load with Donovan when Darius and Evan went down. But yes, you re-signed those three. You retained some of the in-house talent that you already had, whether that be bringing back Emoni Bates, bringing back Isaac Okoro, who I'm very excited that we were able to retain his services without really having serious luxury tax implications. And you can even throw Tristan Thompson in there. In fact, the only real addition to this squad this year are Jalen Tyson, Luke Travers, who I guess you can call the new addition. He's been, part of the organization technically. He's just been overseas, finally come over from the NBL, but he's on a 2-way contract. And JT Thor. Now, I could be missing somebody, but I'm pretty sure those are the only real additions to the squad, and the only one that has a real shot at playing rotational minutes this season is Jalen Tyson, and that honestly within itself is kind of a stretch considering where this team is at from a competitive nature, right? From that standpoint, you have so many different players vying for minutes. But alas, I'm getting ahead of myself. I say all this to say I'm very excited about preseason starting because the NBA season is not that far away. 17 days until the regular season starts, where the Cavaliers will open against the Toronto Raptors. The team they always fucking open against. I'm tired of it. Just NBA, please stop making Cleveland open against the Toronto Raptors. Nothing against those Canadians, but I want to see them play against somebody else to open the season. But alas, man, I'm looking forward to so many different things. And even for preseason, it's not even just the Cavaliers. Like, just as an outside observer, guys, there is a player returning to basketball that has been missing for the last 2 seasons, and we will finally get to see him this year, and that is Lonzo Ball, who suits up for the Chicago Bulls. And honestly, after missing so much time, after being through so much from a surgery and rehab and injury standpoint, I'm damn happy for Lonzo Ball. I know I am not a Chicago Bulls fan, but I cannot be, as just a fan of basketball, I don't care how much negativity surrounded Lonzo Ball when he entered the league because of his father, very boisterous figure. But how can you not be excited about the return of Lonzo and what that could potentially mean to not only his family and himself, but to that Chicago Bulls team moving forward, who just kind of seem directionless right now? I mean, yeah, they made the trade for Josh Giddey, and maybe they're going with a little bit more of a youth movement over there, but their franchise and their ownership just kind of seems like they're okay with not really embracing a full-on rebuild. And so they're just trying to keep pace with the rest of the Eastern Conference. Do I think they're going to be able to do that? Absolutely not. But I am nevertheless happy that Lonzo Ball will be taking the court this year. I don't think he'll suit up in these 2 preseason matchups. I know that in a recent article, he basically quoted just saying that he would be ready to go by their season opener. But I don't know if we will actually get to see him against Cleveland. I'm hoping so, because it's been so long since we've gotten to see how impactful Lonzo can be when he's out there. And just as a pure fan of hoops, man, that could not be any happier for that dude. And then you look at some of the other things from an opponent standpoint. You have the Indiana Pacers, who took a big step last year with Tyrese Halliburton and company. And I'm could not be more excited to see how Cleveland matches up with that pace that they play with and some of the players that they have over there. And then you have the Detroit Pistons, who are coming off a 120-87 victory over the Milwaukee Bucks, where they had things going left and right for different players. I mean, Cade Cunningham wasn't exactly, lighting the stat sheet up, but 13 points, 4 boards, 4 assists on 5 of 13 shooting. That's something. Jaden Ivey, 22 points, 6 of 8 from the field. Ron Holland, rookie, right? Ron Holland, 10 points, 6 boards, 5 assists on 4 of 10 from the field. They have some pieces over there. They have some talent over there for Detroit, and I'm very interested to see how our old pal JB Bickerstaff does with them. I may be in the minority here, but I do honestly hope for the best for JB. I wish him well. Just not against the Cavaliers, right? And it's funny that the Cavs will actually take on Detroit not only in the preseason, but they will actually have a regular season matchup very, very early in the season, October 25th on Friday night against Cleveland. That is the second game of our season. We will play them, if I'm not mistaken, in our home opener. So, I mean, you just look at the potential ramifications of a game like that and getting that out the way early. That's pretty awesome. The vibes are going to be up because the Cavs are going to be up to play JB. I'm sure JB will get a nice little standing ovation, and you go for it. You get to see what this new look Cavaliers team can look like. But I just think it's funny that the Cavs will take on Detroit so early to begin the season under their new leadership over there. And then again, the Cavs will close the preseason with these same Chicago Bulls. But all in all, when I look at what I am, or when I think rather of what I am looking for to begin this season, I am not expecting this team at all to break any of those habits, some of those things that have been ingrained in their minds over the last 4 or 5 years under JB Bickerstaff. I am not expecting any of that to just magically disappear and change overnight. Like, there's the whole conversation surrounding Darius Garland and the three-point attempts, right? A player who has routinely averaged around 6 threes per game attempted. To get him through what Kenny Atkinson says up to around 8 to 9, maybe even past that, triples attempted per game. I am not expecting in any way, shape, or form for Darius Garland to just go out there, completely abandon his shot profile, and just throw up a bunch of triples. I am not expecting that to change overnight. It probably will be a gradual shift. But I think that when the dust settles, when it's all said and done, I do believe that Darius Garland's stat line will likely read that he attempted around 8.5 to 9 triples per contest. And when you look at the players who managed to attempt more than 5 or not more than 5, more than 9 per game last season, it was really just 5 players. It was Steph Curry, who attempted 11.9. There was Luka Doncic, who attempted 10.6. LaMelo Ball, who in my opinion don't really count because he didn't play a whole season, 9 attempts. Klay Thompson, who attempted 9, and then Donovan Mitchell, his teammate, who also attempted 9. Do I believe Darius Garland can get up there? I do. You consider where the Cavaliers were in certain aspects in terms of pace and shot attempts per game. Now, Cleveland last year, despite playing with, if I am not mistaken, the 24th ranked pace last year, they still managed to put up 87.1 field goal attempts per game. Kenny Atkinson, conversely, has never had a season finishing below, if I am not mistaken, 11th in pace. And so you can kind of see where this is going, the natural progression of things. And that was at least 4 to 5 years ago, right, for Kenny Atkinson when he was last coaching at the head coaching position for the Brooklyn Nets. Now, he's been in other stops since then, most notably the Golden State Warriors. And they're very high functioning, highly efficient, fast paced offense over there with a lot of ball movement. You just know that Kenny Atkinson has learned a lot in regards to the way that he wants to operate his system. So I don't think it would be out of the question for Darius Garland and the rest of the Cavaliers to get a ton of attempts up. I just don't see how that is not going to be the case. I do believe that Darius, he's probably going to attempt around, I don't know, maybe 17, 18 attempts per game, and I think 8 to 9 of those will probably be threes this year. Now, what does that mean for the players around him? I'm not so certain, because we all know that they want to get Evan Mobley more touches. We all know that they want to up his utilization and lower probably Donovan Mitchell's, right? They want to be able to get other guys touches, spread the wealth, make sure the ball is constantly in motion. Guys are moving, cutting. We've already heard some of the quotes been put out there about players like Isaac Okoro and Jalen Tyson and Karis LeVert, and just getting these guys to be cutting and moving more without the ball in their hands. And so I think that's awesome. So you got that. I'm looking to see what Darius Garland looks like in particular. I'm looking to see what Evan Mobley in his new jump shot looks like, right? These are things that I'm hoping to see in the preseason. I'm not expecting at all for these habits, these things that the Cavaliers have picked up over the last couple of seasons to change. Nevertheless, I am expecting to see a little bit of what we've been hearing so much about, because I think they're kind of probably keep it vanilla. Nobody's going to truly expose any concepts that they've been working on in their entirety in a preseason matchup. That's just not going to happen. It never truly happens. But I think that there are little things that we can all look to see, hey, what is all this I've been hearing about? Is this all this hype that I've been hearing about? Is it actually legitimate? Can I actually look forward to this? So those are two things that I'm definitely looking forward to. Also, Jalen Tyson, right? We get to see Jalen Tyson take the court in an official NBA capacity, not just summer league appearances or practice. We finally get to see this young man take the court in an official NBA capacity. And the question is still out there. The jury is still out on whether or not dude is going to be able to crack the rotation, because it's deep. All right, on that bench alone, not even counting the starters, you got Karis LeVert, you got Craig Porter Jr., Isaac Okoro, Dean Wade, George Niang, Tristan Thompson, Ty Jerome. I know I'm forgetting somebody here, but you have a lot of these different players who are vying for minutes, and guys who are probably deserving of them may not even get them. Kenny Atkinson has routinely said, hey, I want to go 10, 11 deep during the regular season. I think that is feasible, but even saying that doesn't even guarantee Tyson minutes. That's where the Cavaliers are at from a rotational standpoint. And I know everybody likes to shit on the lack of depth that we have here. I just don't see that. I think we have very clear flaws, right? We still don't have a solidified backup big. We're relying upon Tristan Thompson, and there's nothing against Tristan, but Tristan is getting up there in age. He's not the most mobile big out there. He can't space the floor. He has his own flaws. And so the Cavaliers don't technically have somebody that they can develop and lean on. Maybe they're hoping that JT Thor is that player. I would love to see that. But as of now, we know that is one of their biggest flaws. We know size at the starting three. That remains an issue. But I still believe that Max Strus is the best option right now, and that Jalen Tyson could potentially develop into that type of player that we want out of that three. But it's going to take some time. I say all this to say, Jalen Tyson, he will finally take the court, and we will finally get another glimpse of just what this dude can do. I don't know how they're going to play him. I don't know if it's going to be more so off ball or in an on ball role. All I know is that I want to see him play some minutes, and I want to see him get a good amount of them. What else am I looking forward to? Isaac Okoro. We have heard so much during training camp about how Isaac Okoro has looked, about the three-point shot that he has worked on, about the possible new role that he is going to be in, about him moving without the ball, about the way that they're going to use him on screens and things like that as a secondary facilitator and playmaker. I want to see what all the hype is about. And I know people have soured on Isaac Okoro. I get it. He was the 5th overall pick. A lot of you out there probably feel like he was a bust. Honestly, I don't care. He still holds value as an elite point of attack defender. That three-point shot is developing. It has progressed every single season, at least during the regular season. And I think this is the year that he will finally be able to convert that over to playoff production. That is the thing. We need him to do it in the playoffs, because if you can't, you're just giving everybody else more ammunition to ship you out of town or want to do so. And frankly, that is probably the direction that the team would lean towards if he is not able to do that, coming off that fresh new contract. And so I do believe this is the year that we will see Isaac Okoro finally make something in the playoffs of himself. I do believe that. And that starts in the regular season. And we will finally get to see what Isaac has been working on. Now, if you listen to his comments at training camp, he basically mentioned that he wasn't in basketball shape, but he was in shape. And so we'll get to see just how in shape he is and where he is at from a conditioning standpoint in Tuesday's matchup with the Chicago Bulls. So I'm very excited to see that. What else am I looking forward to seeing? Ty Jerome. I know that is probably a name that's probably out of left field for a lot of you, but we have heard so many big things about Ty Jerome's performance during training camp and in practice and whatnot. And we knew when we first picked him up that his ability to shoot the ball, his ability to conduct an offense to a smaller scale, something that could be genuinely impactful for the Cavs. And you can't forget to mention the size that he has at around 6'5", 6'6" out there. So there's a lot of versatility with lineup combinations that Ty Jerome could present you with. And so I am legitimately excited to see what this version coming off of ankle surgery looks like, because we got to see him for all but 2 games last year. And there were some preseason appearances, but let's just cut to the chase. Let's cut the bullshit. We got to see him for 2 real games. And so I'm very, very excited to see what all the hype is about with Ty, and hopefully they'll work him into some rotational minutes from time to time. I don't think he initially starts in the rotation, but I think that depending upon how the season goes, if they're not getting enough out of specific players, they may look Ty Jerome's way. And we know that based upon some of the performances that we've seen from him in the past, namely against the Cleveland Cavaliers, that is a relative possibility that Ty could add value to this rotation. And so I'm looking forward to all of those things. There are more, but those are the biggest things that I'm looking forward to, at least during the preseason. As the season rolls on, I'm sure that my list is going to get bigger and bigger, but I cannot wait, man. Tuesday night, Chicago Bulls. Basketball just rolled around so fast this offseason. All I know is it's really fucking hard not to be excited about the direction that this team is going in and some of the players that are on the roster, if not all of them. And call me a homer all you want, but man, this could not have come at a better time. I mean, especially if you're a Cleveland Browns fan. I'm not, but for those of you out there that are, I'm sure Cavaliers basketball along with the Cleveland Guardians, that could not have come around fast enough. And congratulations to those Guardians on that 7-0 victory the other day. Jeez, that was quite a game from them. That said, as I always tell you guys, if you want to reach out, you know how you can. It's Cavalier_pod on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and more. If you want to be added to the It's Cavalier Discord chat, you know what to do. Leave a rating, leave a review, send a screenshot of said review to itscavalier53@gmail.com, and I will send you an invite. If you're watching this video over on YouTube, do your boy a favor and hit that like button. And if you're here for the first time, consider subscribing so you don't miss out on all this Cavaliers content. I typically drop it on the daily basis. Go Cavs.